Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome on into the Neutral Zone. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, more playoff action. We've got a couple series that might be ready to clinch. Possibly Carolina tonight, Boston maybe tomorrow, and maybe Toronto and Vegas on Thursday. Oh my gosh, did I say Toronto? Are they going to break the first round curse? They might. We will see come Thursday. Plus, we got some players out the next few games, or next game or two. McCann for Seattle, Makar for Colorado, and Scheifele for Winnipeg. Also, Tkachuk got fined, and Braun is retiring. All that and more coming up next. The Neutral Zone. Stay out of the boards, stay out of the penalty box, don't get checked into the boards, and protect your 5-hole and light the lamp. Let's go! And welcome on into the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Zach Publis. Adam Karnick has the night off. Tonight, we're going to be talking some more playoffs. Got a couple series that might be ready to clinch here and there the next couple days. And some players out. Plus a recap of the first 32 games of the playoffs. See what we liked, what we didn't, what astounded us, so on. But first, before we do, like always, we need to thank our Patreon supporters, do our little housekeeping here. For the last 8 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content, ranging from interviewing legendary athletes to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. All the while, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and with your help, we're ready to take the next step. When you go to our website, iesportsradio.com, you'll see our Patreon link with 5 different tiers. First one starting at just $5 a month. This donation gets you shout-outs on all 32 of our shows. Higher tiers include IE Sports Radio merchandise, access to our podcasting university, and even a chance to be featured on a segment of our flagship show, The Defining Moment. Thank you all very much for continuing to make IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. That being said, we want to thank our Patreon supporters, Bay Area Raised, M. Los Great, Key to the Gate, and Anonymous. We couldn't do it without you guys. Okay. So as we get into the news tonight, we're going to fly around the league here first, checking out the scores. We've got a couple playoff series going on right now. Carolina and the New York Islanders are playing. Carolina leads the series 3-1, with the possibility of clinching tonight. But the Islanders, they're putting up a tough fight. They are trying to stave off elimination. So they are leading that game 3-1 at the end of the second. Wild and Stars, that series is tied 2-2 in the West. Stars lead this game tonight 2-0. They just got into the second period. And yet to come tonight in about 20 minutes, we still got Kings and Oilers at 9:30. That series is also tied 2-2. Last night we had some games as well. The Devils and Rangers are tied up 2 games apiece. Devils won that one last night, 3-1. They had a wild game in Tampa Bay last night. The Maple Leafs came from behind and won in overtime 5-4. They now lead that series 3-1 with a chance, believe it or not, chance to clinch on Thursday. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Maple Leafs could be looking at breaking that first-round curse. Ooh! Never thought I'd see it happen. Also, we had the Golden Knights and the Jets playing last night. Golden Knights won that 4-2 to take a commanding 3-1 game lead in that series as well. And Kraken got their very first home playoff win last night in overtime. Woo! Over the Avalanche. 3-2. My brother was actually in attendance. That was very exciting. I was trying to stay awake through the whole thing, but I don't think I made it to the third period, let alone overtime. That's when it doesn't tip off, or when the puck doesn't drop until 10:30 Eastern time. That makes for a late night. But yeah, all right. So that should get everybody caught up on the series. About the only one I missed was Bruins and Panthers. They played Sunday. They should have played tonight. I don't know why they had to change the schedule on us, but Bruins won that game 6-2 to take another commanding lead, 3-1 in that series. So Carolina could clinch tonight, though the Islanders are putting up quite the fight. Tomorrow, the Bruins could clinch. And then Kraken and Avalanche are back at it tomorrow to see who can grab a 3-game and grab a Game 5 win, I guess, to edge out the other one, to break the tie in the series. How about that? There we go. And then Thursday, Toronto could clinch. Vegas could also clinch, and then Rangers and Devils have Game 5 that night on Thursday. So, lots going on with the playoffs. We'll keep you updated with the scores from tonight's series. Speaking of, Stars are up now 3-0 over the Wild, and that's got just over 17 minutes left in the second period. But yeah, we'll keep you updated on the series as it goes on for the rest of the night. All right, we do have some injury news to update everyone on. So the Kraken won Game 4, but they lose Jared McCann for at least Game 5 and possibly longer. Kraken lost leading scorer Jared McCann to an injury in the first period of Monday's 3-2 overtime victory against the Avalanche, following what was characterized by Seattle coach Dave Haxtell as a late hit from Colorado defenseman Cale Makar. If you watched any of this game, it was getting pretty chippy. The Sea to Summit series is definitely becoming a rivalry. They were getting into quite a few fights last night. So after the game, which saw the Kraken tie their first round series with the defending champs at 2 games apiece, Hackstall told reporters McCann won't be available for Wednesday's Game 5 in Denver, and that my assumption is probably longer than that. So what happened? Well, the Avalanche won a power play when a miscue forced a turnover that saw McCann gain possession and head the other direction on a breakaway. McCann's shot was stopped by Avs goaltender Alexander Georgiev, and it bounced off the goalie and appeared to go into the netting behind the goal. As the puck was in the air, Makar and McCann were skating towards the corner to try to gain possession. McCann appeared to have slowed down while going into the corner and did not seem ready for the hit by Makar. Wow. McCann initially landed on his back before rolling over on his stomach. He tried to get up, but remained on the ice while he was attended to by a member of the Kraken training staff. Headed to the locker room, did not return to the game. At first, Makar was assessed a 5-minute major, but was reduced to a 2-minute minor for interference upon further review. He's got a hearing pending with the NHL Department of Player Safety. Kraken won on the power play. Daniel Sprong scored to give Seattle a 2-0 lead. Avalanche winger Mikko Rantanen then scored 2 second-period goals that would eventually send the game to overtime before Jordan Eberle netted the first winning overtime goal in Climate Pledge Arena history. How exciting. Wow. Makar on the injury. It's unfortunate. I never want to injure guys, Makar said. Hopefully he's all right. At the end of the day, I didn't feel like I tried to finish him in that hard. But I mean, I feel like if I was in that scenario, they would have done the exact same thing. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. It's just unfortunate. Tough bounce there. They got the call right, and that's all you can ask for. Makar said he didn't know if the puck was in or out of play. He said he knew McCann had gotten the shot off and that he was going to the corner because the puck was coming down. After Makar served the penalty, he was excessively booed for the remainder of the game anytime he had possession or was even near the puck. Oh, maybe that's the one my brother said. Oh, yeah, they keep booing this one guy. Makar is the reigning Norris Trophy and Conn Smythe Award winner, and he was asked if he'd ever been booed like that before. No, actually, it's pretty funny. I had a dream last night I was getting booed, Makar said. It's playoff hockey. That's the atmosphere you want. I mean, you got to be a big boy and just take it. Like I said, unfortunate circumstances, and I hope he's all right. Avalanche coach Jared Bednar said he had not looked at the play again prior to his post-game news conference. Bednar said he was not concerned about any supplemental discipline from Makar because the penalty went from a 5-minute major to a 2-minute minor. Hackstall said what he saw live and on review was a late hit in which the puck was out of play and went into the netting. Quote, I believe the puck is being caught by a fan as Canner is being run into the end wall, Hackstall said. Late hit, really late. No puck in play. Like I said, our 40-goal scorer was not available for the rest of the game and not going to be available going forward here. Hackstall said the explanation he was given by the officials as to why Makar's penalty was downgraded to a minor was that there was puck in play at the battle, which is why they penalized Makar for interference. Quote from Hackstall, I disagree with that, obviously. As I assessed it and looked at it live and looking at it out after on video, I disagree with that assessment. Whether that's by the refs or in Toronto, that's not an accurate description of the play. Okay, so wow, this is fascinating then. It went from a major penalty to a minor penalty, but now Cale Makar is going to be out for Game 5. He's going to be suspended for that hit on Jared McCann. So maybe after further review, they bumped it back up to the major and then some. I don't know. Let's see. Defenseman Cale Makar will miss Game 5 of the Avalanche's first-round playoff series on Wednesday after he was suspended for his hit on Seattle Kraken forward Jared McCann while committing an interference penalty. The hit occurred in the first period of Sunday's 3-2. First period of Seattle's 3-2 overtime win that tied the series 2-2 on Monday. Kraken coach Dave Haxtell described it as a late hit, said McCann would also miss Game 5 at Ball Arena in Denver, could possibly miss more than one game. That's all explaining. Well, the puck was in the air. Makar gave McCann a light shove, and the Bull skaters went off towards the corner. McCann appeared to have slowed down and was not looking when Makar delivered a shoulder-to-shoulder check. McCann banged into the glass. So Makar was assessed a 5-minute major that was reduced to a 2-minute minor, but that also came with the possibility that Makar could face further punishment. A hearing with the NHL Department of Player Safety was scheduled. Makar said he didn't know if the puck was in or out of play. He said he knew McCann got the shot off and that he was going to the corner because the puck was coming down. Let's see. Okay, so the Department of Player Safety provided an explanation for the suspension by stating, "It is important to note that McCann is in no way eligible to be checked on this play. Makar finishes the hit well outside the allowable window for finishing a check. In addition, it is clear that Makar knows McCann is not in possession of the puck when he decides to deliver this hit." While we have heard Makar's assertion that he assumed the puck would bounce into the corner and the play would continue, the onus is on Makar to ensure this occurs before initiating contact. The result of this play is a body check to a vulnerable player who's not eligible to be hit that causes an injury. The league did note that it's in its decision that it took into account the fact that Makar's first career offense. And the rest of that we already heard. Okay, cool. So that explains why he got suspended for the one game. So, but yeah, lots of people out for the next couple of games. McCann's out, Makar's out. Mark Scheifele is going to be out in the game on Thursday, Jets versus Vegas Golden Knights, where the Knights could possibly clinch. Shoot, I thought I had that one pulled up. There we go. Okay, so Winnipeg Jets hopeful injured Mark Scheifele will play in Game 5. Winnipeg Jets star forward Mark Scheifele, who suffered an upper body injury in the team's loss to the Vegas Golden Knights on Monday night, is day-to-day and could suit up for Game 5 with the Jets facing elimination. Scheifele left the first period of Game 4 because of the injury. The Jets lost 4-2 to fall behind 3-1 in their first-round Western Conference playoff series. Winnipeg coach Rick Bowness says, "I just talked to Mark, and he's feeling better than he did Monday night," he told reporters today. So he's definitely considered day-to-day. Let's put him in the hopeful category for Thursday. The Jets have the benefit of getting 2 days off between Games 4 and 5 as the series shifts from Winnipeg back to Vegas. Scheifele, 30, led the Jets in the regular season with her career-high 42 goals, plus 26 assists in 81 games. He had 1 goal in the series against Vegas before the injury. In 12 NHL seasons, all spent with Winnipeg, Scheifele has tallied 645 career points. That's 272 goals, 373 assists, in a total of 723 games. The Jets are also without all-star defenseman Josh Morrissey and forward Nikolai Ehlers because of injuries. Morrissey has been ruled out of the series because of a lower body injury. Also, Panthers Matthew Tkachuk has been fined a maximum of $5,000 for a cross-check in their series against Boston. For cross-checking Boston Bruins Garnett Hathaway during Sunday's game. Tkachuk delivered the shot to Hathaway at the end of the first period and was given a 2-minute minor penalty to start the second. Bruins scored on that power play en route to a 6-2 victory to take a 3-1 lead in the best-of-7 Eastern Conference Series. Tkachuk later was given a game misconduct after getting into a shoving match with Bruins goalie Linus Ullmark with 3 minutes remaining in the final period. Ullmark was also sent off after dropping his gloves and taking off his helmet in an effort to fight Tkachuk. Jeremy Swayman played the final 3:11 in the goal after Ullmark saved 41 of 43 shots. Tkachuk posted a goal and an assist Sunday, giving him 5 points. That's 2 goals and 3 assists in the series. Game 5 is tomorrow in Boston. Okay, let's check the scores here before we take a break. It's still 3-1 Islanders over Hurricanes with 12 minutes and 36 seconds left to go in the third. Carolina leads that series 3-1. So if Carolina finds a way to come back in the next 12 minutes, they could clinch it tonight. Otherwise, the Islanders will stave off elimination. We've also got Stars and Wild going on. Stars are leading that one 3-0 with 9 minutes and 34 seconds left in the second. Still to come tonight, we got Kings and Oilers at 9:30. And that series is tied 2 games apiece. If you're listening tonight, you can follow along on Spreaker in the chat room. You can hop on in and say hi and give us any questions you've got, questions, concerns, comments, anything. Or you can follow us on Twitter and keep up with the show there at IESR Neutral Zone. You're listening to the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Shores of the Puget Sound to the rushing waters of the Columbia River, stretching across the Great Cascades, and on IE Sports Radio lives the Northwest Territory Sports Show, hosted by me, Brad Buckingham. On this show, I cover all the great collegiate and professional sport teams that we have here in the Pacific Northwest. Of course, I'm talking about the Seattle Seahawks, Seattle Mariners, Sounders, and even the Seattle Kraken. But I can't forget all of that is good in Oregon either. I got the Trailblazers, the Oregon Ducks, the Beavers, even the Timbers, and much, much more. You can listen to the show every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, noon to 1 p.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? Are you looking for the latest on Northern California sports? Then take a trip out west with me, your host, Gina G, on Reppin' to NorCal Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'll be bringing it to you all the way live every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's always a packed show. I'll bring you everything Dynastic 49ers, the bite of the San Jose Sharks, torture of the San Francisco Giants, the Golden State Warriors that we still believe. Then take you across the bay to the rise and grind of the Oakland A's. I've got you covered on college ball from the Cal Bears to the Stanford Cardinal, so that no matter what, reppin' in NorCal Sports is always reppin' the Bay. So if you bleed red and gold, or you're looking to keep an eye out west in them thar hills, don't miss me, Gina G, on reppin' in NorCal Sports. Catch me every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'll have your fandom repped harder than a trio of defenders guarding Stephen Curry before his buzzer beater is Gucci.
And we're back to the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Once again, I'm your host, Zach Publis. Adam Garnick has the night off. Alrighty, let's get back into it. Again, if you want to follow us and give us any shout-outs or anything, you can find us on Twitter at IESR, the Neutral Zone. IESR Neutral Zone. There we go. All right, a couple more stories for the night. We did have a retirement in the NHL. Defenseman Justin Braun is retiring after playing 13 NHL seasons. Defenseman Justin Braun has decided to retire at age 36 after 13 NHL seasons. The NHL Alumni Association announced Braun's retirement Monday, a week and a half after he played in the Philadelphia Flyers season finale. Braun skated in 961 regular season and playoff games with the Sharks, the Flyers, and the New York Rangers. He was a key player for the Sharks when they reached the Stanley Cup Final back in 2016, playing in all 24 games of their run and averaging more than 21 minutes of ice time. Braun also helped the Rangers make the Eastern Conference Final last year, after they acquired him at the trade deadline from Philadelphia. He returned to the Flyers on a one-year deal, serving as a mentor to many of the team's younger players. He was from Minnesota and was a 7th-round pick of San Jose's back in 2007. Braun made his NHL career debut in 2010 and finished with 199 career points during the regular season and 16 more in the playoffs. So, congratulations to Justin Braun, and we wish you all the best in retirement. Excuse me. Let's check on the scores here. Okay, with just under 7 minutes to go in the third period, the Islanders and Hurricanes. Islanders are up 3-2 over the Hurricanes. Carolina still leads that series 3-1, and they might still have a chance of clinching it tonight. We'll see. Hey, get it to overtime, and anything could happen at that point, right? Stars and Wild. Stars are pulling away in this one, 3-0. Stars over the Wild with 3.5 minutes left to go in the second. Still yet to come tonight. We've got the Kings and Oilers. The puck's about to drop any minute now. Yeah. So we'll keep you posted on that one. Okay, so we have a couple quick hits from the last couple weeks that I don't think we ever got to. We'll start with the teams that have been eliminated from playoff contention. But it's just momentous, so we need to mention it. Penguins, Sidney Crosby. He becomes the 15th player to ever hit 1,500 career points. Penguins captain Sidney Crosby became the 15th player in NHL history to reach 1,500 career points, scoring 2 goals and adding an assist in Pittsburgh's 5-1 victory over the Detroit Red Wings recently. This is a team sport, Crosby said. That is what we signed up for, and that's why we love this game. Maybe you get certain milestones that get you to reflect a little more, but right now I'm just thinking about our situation and what we still need to do. I'm happy to have been a part of all this, but my mentality has always been to try to be my best and take what happens from there. Penguins did end their run of 16 straight Stanley Cup playoff berths. It was the longest active streak among major North American sports leagues. Crosby has 550 goals, 950 assists, and is the 6th fastest player to hit the 1,500-point milestone, accomplishing it in just his 1,188th game. Milestone came on a power play goal at 3 minutes and 1 second of the third period, with Chris Letang and Jake Gunsel assisting. Penguins coach Mike Sullivan. This is something only 15 players have ever done, and he's the 6th fastest of all of them. I think that company speaks to this milestone and to the impact he's had on the game. Not only is he one of the greatest players of his generation, he's one of the greatest players in history. David Perron, who played parts of 2 seasons with Crosby from 14 to 16, has seen it before. Quote, incredibly impressive type of performance that he puts up at the right time, Perron said. That's just what he does. I've seen it on the other bench. He's just a great guy, keeps working on his game. I ran into him at the All-Star break. We were in the same hotel. I got to spend some time with him. He just keeps working at it. He just wants to keep getting better and better. Crosby became the 12th player in league history to reach 90 points in his age 35 season or older. Other players to hit that 1,500 points mark. Gordie Howe, 1,809 points with the Red Wings. Steve Yzerman, 1,755 with the Red Wings. Mario Lemieux, 1,723 with the Penguins. Of course, Gretzky got it with 1,669 with the Oilers. Joe Sakic, 1,641 with the Avalanche. And Ray Bourque, 1,506 with the Bruins. So, I mean, when Crosby's up there with Gretzky, Lemieux, and Yzerman, and Howe, like, yeah, he's definitely one of the best ever. Let's see here. Yeah, that's about it on that one. But, all right. Congrats to Sidney Crosby. All year, Adam and I have been talking about the Oilers and how they just constantly put up video game numbers. Well, here's another milestone. Connor McDavid becomes the first player in 27 years to surpass 150 points. To get there, McDavid set up Ryan Nugent-Hopkins early in the opening period for his 87th assist, and then knocked in a rebound with 1 minute 44 seconds left in the first for his 63rd goal to reach the milestone last achieved by Mario Lemieux when he scored 161 points in 95-96. McDavid became just the sixth player to record 150 points in a season, joining Wayne Gretzky, who's done it 9 times, Lemieux, who's done it 4 times, Phil Esposito, Steve Yzerman, and Bernie Nichols. He added another goal, his 64th of the season, in the third period of this game to conclude the scoring. McDavid on the milestone. I haven't put a ton of thought into it. The guys kind of put a little video together of all the other 5 guys that have done it. It kind of hit me. That was special. To hear from all 5 was amazing. Yeah, Gretzky, Lemieux, Esposito, Yzerman, Bernie Nichols. Wow. To be in that kind of company, McDavid, that's some rare air. It's been quite a season to remember for McDavid as the All-Star forward is headed back to the postseason a year after the Oilers advanced to the Western Conference Finals. The runaway favorite for the Hart Trophy, given to the NHL's most valuable player, McDavid has been shattering both team and league records monthly. Oilers coach Jay Woodcroft on the milestone. Quote, a special player joined an elite group of players in the history of the game. Obviously, what drives him is making sure that the team wins. That's a big reason why we won today. End quote. McDavid's teammate, Leon Draisaitl, also an all-star forward, is the second highest point scorer in the NHL this season, and there's a chance Connor finishes 30 points ahead of him. Oh my gosh. Woo, that's parallel to what Boston's doing against everybody else this year. Quote, I can't say enough good things about him, lineman Zach Hyman said. Obviously, just the best player in the world and just continues to push his own envelope, continues to make himself better and make our team better. So we'll see if they can equal that benchmark where they hit last year, the Western Conference Finals, or even possibly go further. They gotta take out LA first. They're fighting for their lives in that series. Everybody's tied up 2 games apiece. So we'll see what happens. But congrats to Connor McDavid. All right. Let's check the score again here. Islanders are still ahead of the Hurricanes 3-2 with 2.5 minutes left to go in the third in that game. Carolina leads the series 3-1. And at the end of 2, Stars lead the Wild 3-0. That series is tied up 2-2. Now Kings and Oilers are scheduled for 9:45. Good old hockey time. That series, like we said, tied 2 games apiece. Wow. Another little quick hit here. Boston has tied the NHL single-season record with their 62nd win, joining the 95-96 Red Wings and the 2018-19 Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's see here. The Bruins, who have already wrapped up the President's Trophy and home ice advantage through the Stanley Cup playoffs, have they had 3 games remaining in the regular season to become the first team in NHL history to reach 63 wins. But I don't think they got any single one of them. Coach Jim Montgomery said that trying to win their remaining games can help them stay sharp for what they hope will be a long postseason run. Anytime you're talking about putting your team's name and putting our spoked B in the history books of the most wins ever in a regular season, it's special, he said. Our regular season has been great, but we need to win our last game of the season, and that's what we're building towards. Consistently throughout the season, Bruins players have said that the NHL's single-season wins record didn't mean much to them, as the only thing that they were chasing is the Stanley Cup. However, Montgomery told ESPN last week that once the record became within reach, he underscored to his team how incredible an accomplishment it would be to do something no team has ever done in the 100-plus year history of the league. His players appear to be on board. Goalie Linus Ullmark says, "You've got to recharge, reload for tomorrow's game as well, because there's no freebies. And as happy as we are right now with this, we can pat ourselves a little bit on the shoulder, but there's a new day tomorrow." Bruins have led the NHL all season, which was surprising because expectations were tempered following a first-round playoff exit to Carolina last year. Boston began the season with two of its biggest stars, defenseman Charlie McAvoy and winger Brad Marchand, on injured reserve. The Bruins also underwent a coaching change, turning to Montgomery after 6 seasons of Bruce Cassidy. But Boston has been one of the most complete teams in the league, regularly rolling 4 lines and getting standout goaltending from Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman. They added reinforcements at the trade deadline: Garnet Hathaway, Tyler Bertuzzi from Detroit. They've also been boosted by a career year from star winger David Pastrnak. He had 57 goals, and they trail only Connor McDavid for the league lead. Pastrnak signed an 8-year, $90 million extension in March. The Bruins have rallied around winning one more Stanley Cup for their captain, 37-year-old Patrice Bergeron, who opted to come back this year on a 1-year deal this season instead of retiring. Boston has been installed as the Cup favorites at Caesars Sportsbook since the middle of December. According to ESPN Stats and Info, the Bruins are the 4th team in the NHL's modern era to sit atop its division standings for the entire season. Wow, only 3 other teams. Joining the 08-09 Sharks, the 84-85 Oilers, and the 77-78 Canadiens. Oilers and Canadiens went on to win the Stanley Cup in those respective years. The Sharks lost in the opening round. So, the Bruins are hoping to mimic the Oilers and the Canadiens, not the Sharks in that aspect. The Bruins also have 129 points and a chance at the record of 132 set by the 1976-1977 Canadiens, who played an 80-game season and didn't earn points for overtime or shootout wins. I don't think they broke that. I think they're still tied, because I think all the wins so far have come in the postseason. Philadelphia, Washington, and Montreal. Let's see. So, okay, schedule. We want regular season. Regular season. Okay. Maybe. There we go. Okay, did they break the tie? I don't think they did. Oh, hang on. Yeah, they did. Just kidding. Okay. 63, 64, 65. They won 65 games. They definitely broke it. Go figure. Winning each of those games with 5 points apiece. Beating Philadelphia 5-3, beating Washington 5-2, beating Montreal 5-4. Yeah, they'd be hard pressed if they didn't beat Montreal, or Washington or Philly. All 3 of those are at their cellar dwellers. Okay, they did break the record. We'll have to update you more on that next week. But yeah, congratulations to the Boston Bruins. All right, one more quick hit, and then we'll get out of here for the night. Avs Nathan McKinnon calls Kraken my hardest first-round foe. Wow, that's quite the compliment for a franchise, for an expansion franchise. Only their second season. That's awesome. Let's dig into that. Nathan McCann made a statement about the Seattle Kraken that was just as profound as the one made by the Colorado Avalanche on a historic night in Seattle. That message: nobody should be underestimating the Kraken. McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen each scored twice, with Cale Makar also scoring in the Avalanche's 6-4 win on Saturday over the Kraken in Game 3 in the first Stanley Cup playoff game in Climate Pledge Arena history. Colorado took a 2-1 lead in the series. After falling into an early hole, the Avs rallied to score 3 straight goals for a 2-goal lead. Kraken responded with a pair of goals from Jamie Oleksiak and Matty Beniers. Matty Beniers. Rhymes with veneers. Within 30 seconds of one another to tie the score at 3-3 in the second period. Avs broke the tie with McKinnon's second goal, sandwiched between Rantanen's 2 goals for a 6-3 lead before the Kraken's Jaden Schwartz scored within 40 seconds left in the game. McKinnon says, "It's a really great team. This is definitely the hardest first round I've been in, I think." When asked for his biggest takeaway after 3 games, sometimes the last few years we've been in the top seed and we've not gotten easy teams by any means, but this Seattle team is a 100-point team. They're really good, and we're going to have to continue to be our best to beat them. McKinnon, who was the first pick of the 2013 NHL Draft, experienced the postseason in his rookie year, with the Avs losing in the first round to the Central Division rival Minnesota Wild in 7 games. The club missed the playoffs for 3 years before returning in 17 and 18, losing to the Nashville Preds in 6 games. Since then, the Avs have flourished in the first round. In 18-19, they were a wild card entry, upset the top-seeded Calgary Flames in 5 games. A year later, they beat the Coyotes in 5 games, then swept the Blues the following season. Last year, Colorado swept the Predators en route to winning their 3rd championship in franchise history. But this year, the first round has been a challenge, with the Kraken taking the opening game of the series and scoring first in games 2 and 3, contest the Avalanche, and Game 4. Contest the Avalanche ultimately came back to win. Let's see here. Entering the series, there were questions about how the Kraken, in their first playoff appearance in their 2-year existence, could match up against an Avs team seeking a second straight Stanley Cup. The Kraken have answered some of those questions by relying on an aggressive yet physically demanding forecheck that takes away time and space with the sole premise of creating mistakes. It has happened a few times in the series, and it happened twice when the Kraken pressured the Avs into the sort of mistakes that saw a 3-1 game immediately transform into a tie game, leading the home crowd to erupt. Kraken's second season has seen them consistently sell out their 17,151-seat facility, which has been retrofitted from the home that once housed the NBA's Seattle Supersonics into one of the loudest environments in the NHL. Hours before Saturday's contest, thousands of fans were outside watching other playoff games at a projection screen while walking the arena grounds, taking in the sort of experience that might have seemed like a dream, considering the Kraken were a lottery team less than a year ago. Wow. We were loose, we were prepared, we were ready for this one, Kraken coach Dave Haxtell said. I loved our start tonight, loved the atmosphere, loved the building, the fans, the feel of the building. It's a playoff feel, that's what that is. That part of it is awesome. Let's see here. They're a good team. That's why it's been one of the most difficult ones we've had, Avalanche coach Jared Bednar said. They're a really good hockey team. They're a deep hockey team, and they work extremely hard. They've bought into their system and their game plan. They compete within that plan. That's what makes it difficult. To me, they're all difficult. Even some of the ones that we've won in the past that were 4-0, it's still a play or two in each game that makes a difference in the hockey game. So, yeah, definitely a tough matchup there. Okay, one last check of the scores, and we'll get out of here. Islanders have beat the Hurricanes 3-2, stave off elimination. Carolina now leads the series 3-2. Stars are leading the Wild 3-0 at the end of 2. And Kings and Oilers have finally dropped the puck. 13:48 left in the first. We want to thank Larry and Taryn and Adam and everybody at the channel. And thank our Patreon supporters, Bay Area Raised, Emelos Great, Key to the Gate, as well as Anonymous. And make sure to follow us at IESR Neutral Zone on Twitter. And we will be back next week with more playoff action to discuss. So hopefully we get some other teams to clinch in the next couple nights. So, all right, we will talk to you all next week. In the meantime, stay out of the boards. Or stay out of the penalty box. Don't get checked in the boards. Protect your 5-hole and light the lamp. Let's go.